Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Spencer.
And I'm here.
And this is the Board Game Rundown. Thanks, Dan. Today we've got, what? Games we played, news, a crowdfunding, and then a
Wow,
topic.
really? Mixing it up? No, wait, no, that's the same as every week.
Exact same thing.
Same as every week.
Play the same song, okay.
You got it. So, yeah, lots of news. Not really lots of news. I guess there's some news. No?
We couldn't find any news.
Okay.
I was looking for a while. I was like, I wonder if Tim has interesting news because I can't find anything.
I guess real quick, like top of the show, let's just like
yeah,
Get it
top
out
of the
there.
show.
let's do
Like, subscribe, and hit the bell. So,
I was waiting for Bob to do that. Right. 'Cause it was like,
You gotta smash that button. Yeah.
But also, so we've had a bunch of comments on the Kemet video because we were playing a few things wrong.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Which is fine.
Yes.
And actually, I appreciate all of the engagement, right?
Yes.
And the back and forth, and being able to talk to people about the stuff. I'm really glad that everybody's watching it. So full disclosure, as Dan and I have said, I think as our responses have been, the the two things that we got wrong, I don't think would have changed our experience in the game.
Right. So
because we played consistently.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, the key thing, because it was just how ports worked.
Okay.
Which is kind of confusing, and it's a newer thing to the second edition.
Sure.
And then the purchasing of powers, we were limiting ourselves to doing.
Yeah.
Which again, like I think you even said, we're playing on hard mode.
Right.
Which is fine. But what were we gonna say?
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say that. I've said this to many people, and I have watched full playthroughs of both editions of Kemet and everything, and I just want you guys to know, because this is what matters, since it was a review that we got some of this information wrong on, I promise you it would not have impacted my score in any way.
Right.
The way I feel about the game, even with, I was like, oh, okay, you can buy more things per round. That's cool. It wouldn't affect my score. I'm not going to give it a whole point because I can buy more text per round. Or the ports, guess how many times I used that when I played? None. So it wouldn't have impacted my score changing those rules. So even though if you watch those videos and you're like, hey, you guys are playing wrong, especially if you're like, you're doing a review here, try to get the information right, because some people word it in a way that's less nice than other people.
Oh, sure.
No one is perfect, and the information that we gave out is all that you need to know. Like, yes.
It wasn't a how to play.
Exactly.
So
that's the important thing. It is not a how to play. It is our review, and what matters is how we share our opinions on it, and my opinions would not change from what we've learned.
Well, and I guess the other side of that is also we played it. We reviewed our experience playing it.
Right.
And we compared and contrasted it to original Kemet.
Right.
Right. And, again, please, call us out.
Yes.
Keep the comments coming, because I love it. I am just glad that we are putting out content that people care enough to take 5 seconds to type out a comment. So I am happy to have it.
And just fully understand that, like Tim said, the whole point of review is our opinion. So even if we say something that you find wrong, the entire point is that you might not disagree with it. That's the whole point, is then you listen to Tim's opinion and my opinion. You go listen to someone else's opinion, and you put together from all these different experiences, okay, well, I agree with that, I disagree with that, and you put together your opinion before you have to make a purchase. That's the entire point.
And, check it out. Check out and see if that ports rule, if something like that, or the ability to purchase more text, is something that you think okay, well, now this sounds more interesting. And I mean that seriously, because we have played games where it's man, it just feels too limiting.
Right.
With Kemet, I don't think any of our experiences were this is too limiting. I'm not getting to do enough. So again, I apologize for getting some of those things wrong, but we reviewed the way we played it, and the
Those changes wouldn't really affect your
They're house rules.
And we did our we reported on our experience with the game.
Accidental house rules.
Also, we just passed 600 subscribers.
Yes.
Looking forward to continuing to grow. So thank you guys for that, and I really appreciate it.
Yep.
I'll go on to news.
Heck yeah.
What games we played?
Because none of
games
us played any games.
I didn't play any game. I played Uno with my kids.
You could have just said nothing.
And a lot of Magic the Gathering.
Well, we had a game night.
We did. I played something before that.
Yes.
Go for it.
Did you play anything? Well, no.
Well, I did, but not before that.
Right. So just really quick, my brother came over. He was helping move some house stuff, and I sat him down and taught him Whitehall Mystery.
Nice.
So we did a 1v1 in Whitehall Mystery, and it was fantastic. Just a great. He walked away like, that was incredible. Like, he had such an intense game. I was Jack, and he caught me on the last turn he could have.
Nice.
So if he hadn't have caught me that turn, which was down to a 50-50 pick, he was like, I'm next to these 2 spots. I'm pretty sure Dan has to be in one of them. If he hadn't have caught me there, my next move would have been an alley, and I would have been a next to my, and then I would have been 1 move away from my final spot, and he couldn't have caught up to me.
Right.
So it was the last chance he had, and he guessed the 50-50 right. We were staring at each other for like 5 minutes because I was very much I cannot choose the spot in front of you, right? So it was very much I was looking at him, and I was like, okay, well, he's probably least likely to choose this, but then in his head, he's like, well, I'm probably less likely to choose this, so he's going to know. And we were just sitting there forever, and then I was like, I made my move, and then he sat there forever, and he was like, okay, I'm going to arrest here, and I was just like,
yeah,
you got me. And it was a fantastic ending. He loved the game. He's really looking forward to letters from Whitechapel now.
Good.
Yeah.
But
it's a good warm up, right? For that.
Yeah, exactly. We played, especially with just a 2-player Whitehall Mystery, and I made, like I said, 2 moves away from the end, and it was probably 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
fantastic.
so good. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So that was it. And then game night.
So what went down on game night?
Well,
I was going to ask you guys, and I was like, I'll just wait.
So we were together for like 5 hours or something.
Yeah,
Guess how many
like
games
that.
we played?
1.
Technically 2, but I'll say 1.
Okay, so I didn't go to game night because I was there's like locally here there's like a historic mansion, they were doing like a mystery thing.
Yeah, which
and
is
so
awesome.
I was performing in a
I mean,
sketch.
kind of
so it hindered
a loser. but
it
it's
hindered my my ability to get in a lot of games this week. But I
wish I
was
could
really
do
glad
it.
to do it. It was a
Yeah,
ton of fun.
it's a fun thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go to that
so,
one day.
Yeah.
So game night.
All right, so we played Moonrakers.
We finally played Moonrakers. It's a negotiation deck building game.
Okay.
Yeah, and like engine building too. So you've got a ship,
Sure.
and you put ship parts on
Deck
it.
building is engine building.
Well, it's not just
Not
deck
always.
building.
So is you guys Mike, Caleb, and Jesse?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to think if
And
that was the full player.
I'm
Yeah,
not a
me too.
stalker. I just keep track
Yeah,
of
yeah,
who was showing up
I think
where.
the reason why it took so long is because we really got into the negotiating. Like
Yeah,
crazy.
there were a couple negotiation rounds that went really long, and it was obviously a learning game for everyone.
Sure.
Having played 2 games with Jesse yesterday,
Oh yeah,
I can see how it can take a long time. He's been, between you and him.
I know. It wasn't just me this time when we were going around.
Right. Well,
It
that's
was
the thing.
everyone having
That's the
problems.
we
thing
got-
is with me and Mike sitting
we got
there, and
2
it's
of them.
not
2
just
of
you
them.
this time.
Yeah,
It's you and Jesse.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys took a long time.
But
for
here's the
something,
thing.
too.
Here's the thing with Jesse. Here's the thing with Jesse.
He's good.
He always wins then.
You win.
So
but I would have won the next turn. I was next,
Right.
And he got the 2 points, and I was going to get the 2 points on my
right,
turn.
and I was
he
gonna
sniped it
get
for
like
me
2 points on
again.
my turn and not win.
So how was Moonrakers? Was it fun?
Oh
It
yeah.
was very fun.
It is a good game.
Okay.
I don't know. So first of all, it has the market problem.
Okay,
There's
he
a
doesn't like
market
this.
that you can't refresh easily.
Oh,
You
sure.
can on your turn you can pay 1 money to replace 1 card in the
Gotcha.
market.
Yeah.
That's hard to do sometimes.
Honestly, I'd be okay with that if you make it unlimited. Like
Oh,
I
you could
just
do it
keep
more.
replacing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, you could always have
Or
that.
here's my idea. It's a deck building game. You have 5 cards in your hand, and they are extremely important. Let me discard a card to clear half the market row, and let me do that unlimited. That way, I'm searching for something I really need, but I am massively hurting my turn by doing it. Right? Just let me do that. But yeah, so that was such a big turnoff for me as we were playing the game. But I did love the negotiation way it plays. It's a very tongue-in-cheeky. Well, it obviously depends on your group, but I felt like it was a very tongue-in-cheeky kind of negotiate, but also a mathy negotiate. Okay, well, I only need thrusters on this spot. Spencer, you say you have thrusters? Yes, yes, I have 2 thrusters guaranteed. Okay, that's pretty good. But then Caleb here has 1 thruster guaranteed and can draw a bunch of cards on his turn, so he'll probably get another thruster, and he's asking for less. Right? Because the whole point is before you go on the mission, you decide how you're splitting up all the goods.
But then you have to be like, is he going to fulfill an objective and get a point out of that?
Right.
Ooh.
Why is he asking for less? Sure. But yeah, so I
Exactly.
really like the negotiation. I've always loved the art stuff ever since I played the game like 6 years ago somehow before it came out. I'll never understand. It's either I have precognition or I've played the game before. I really want to find out if the designers from the South Bend
Maybe
area.
Your
or
time
something.
traveling has messed with your memory.
That's true. Sometimes you get it all mixed up.
Played an acronym too many
yeah,
times.
yeah.
So Jesse won.
Jesse did win. It was a pretty close game in general. I think you, Caleb, no,
Yeah,
Mike.
3 of us were
Mike got
at
up at
8
the very
points.
end. It was me and Caleb who were a little behind. And yeah, so yeah, it's just, some of it comes down to dice because the dice give you negative points. So you have to kind of balance that out. Okay, I'm getting more victory points this turn, so I'll roll the dice because, that's only fair and, all this kind of stuff.
And in terms of what you can play, it's more tight than most of these deck builders because you get one action. And if you don't have a reactor in your hand,
right,
you're kind of SOL.
Yeah, the whole point of a reactor is plus 2 actions. So basically,
okay.
you have to play a reactor
So
as your
it's
first
like
action every
some
turn.
Dominion rules.
Except you get the ship parts. And some of the ship parts can be like, you get an extra action. Or if you didn't get a reactor in your hand, draw a card. And things like that. So the ship parts
which is
really
the
help
engine
balance
building
it
he's
out.
talking about is kind of the 4 ship
Literally
parts you
building an
get.
engine.
Yeah.
Yes, you're literally building an engine. And some of them are like, your allies get a bonus, which makes it more likely for them to take you as
right, but then they can request more, right? They're like, hey, I'm giving you a free action. I want half that money. And stuff. It's just like, oh, right. So, yes, overall, good game. We need to get you guys to play it so that we can review it. But I'll play it again, but that market thing, it kills me, man.
Do you think the player count added to the time as well?
Definitely.
Definitely because there's more negotiation.
Yeah,
but
sure,
like,
a lot more negotiation.
did it overstay its welcome would be the thing for me, even though it took us like 4 hours to play or something with a learning game. And I don't think it felt like it overstayed its welcome.
No. Yeah.
I think that you will keep chipping that down and you will have a good hour-and-a-half game in there eventually.
I think so as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Cool. All right.
That's
Moonrakers.
Moonrakers.
What else did you play after that?
Just one.
Just one.
Oh, okay.
That's why I
That's
said
all
it's,
good.
we
Yeah,
played
it's
one
just one
game.
game.
Yeah. But yeah, fantastic game of just one, as
was a
always.
Really good game, yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a Meeple meetup.
Yeah,
locally.
Well, technically Friday night first.
Right.
My friend, Other Tim,
Okay.
came over. We played a couple rounds of Magic, but since Chris wasn't there, he's usually not big on learning new games. He was willing to learn Khôra with me.
Oh, right on.
He loved it.
Yeah.
He thought it was super cool. He really enjoyed it.
Speaking of games,
That's another one.
Yeah.
That's
need
another
to
one we
play.
got to get a review of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a Greek city builder. It's not super combative, which is kind of nice. Like, you're doing some
like
military
that.
stuff, but you're not like fighting against each other type of things. And the insert on it is great.
Yeah.
I've
And dual layer player boards,
dual
right?
player boards. Yeah. It's,
Great cover.
Check
on
it.
it.
Boxes.
Check.
You
They
had
say
me
it's
at
pronounced
Greek city
Elio.
builder.
I like saying Elio games because I think it looks like it says Elio games, but
It's
I think
yellow.
It's yellow games.
It's yellow
Oh,
games.
yeah,
sounds
it's yellow.
silly. It's Elio to me.
You think yellow sounds silly and you're saying Elio?
Yes,
Even though there's-
because it's
yellow's a color.
IELLO.
But there's no
And
I before
yellow-
the O.
What?
There's no I before the O. Elio?
Yeah, so what? There's no Y in it, and you're trying to call it yellow. So
It's IE, yeah, right? From like a different language. Yeah.
Elio sounds cooler. But yeah, that's one of my favorite games that they've put out that I've played.
Yeah.
Usually, some of the games I play are lighter.
Yeah,
And this is
yeah.
it's one of their
It can be.
expert level games.
Sure.
But yeah,
Cool.
It's super good.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
now
cool
I'm
to see
really
a game
in
like
on
that. You're right, coming from Yellow.
Yeah,
That's,
I'd like
I didn't do that on purpose.
Sure.
It's cool seeing that come from them.
Then so after that, we did have our Meeple local nonprofit group met up yesterday. Some friend Justin and his wife showed up, taught them After the Empire.
Yeah.
She's like, well, she likes worker placement. I'm like, well, this is like tower defense and worker placement. She's like, that sounds cool. They loved it. They were looking for how to get it. And so as we're playing it, they got done with their game and he's like, well, what are you guys playing? And I'm like, it's After the Empire. He's like, castles and catapults.
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
Caleb. That's
I
out of his
want
alley.
to play that. And I was like, okay, because we were like 30 minutes in. And it's hour and a half, 2 hours when you're teaching.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I can probably teach it to you later on. We'll see. And he's like, okay. So we played After the Empire. We got done, and then we had 6 people. So then we all played Oceans.
Okay.
Big old player. Big old
Love
game of Oceans.
Oceans.
It was so good. Caleb was excited, and he was sitting to my right. And I don't know if you remember
no.
the first time we played Oceans, and I played a card down, and I fed my guy and got some fish, and Caleb's like, oh, I'm going to play a Parasite and start eating guys off of you. And then it went
parasited
around. And then
Caleb.
Tim played Parasite, started eating off of me. So then, I
was there for that. That was a good game.
Yeah, a great game. So that's what I did. I kind of get a little, one back at you there, right? And then I make me a nice big Apex Predator, and I was just punching on people. Ended up winning that. That was pretty good. Yep.
I love Ocean.
That was
great
was
game.
fun. Yep.
Yeah.
And then some people took off, and then it was down to David, Jesse, and Caleb and I.
Uh-huh.
So I taught them After the Empire.
Yeah.
So we played that again.
Played twice.
They all loved it. Caleb's like trying to figure out where I can buy it. He
Uh-huh.
loves he loves the bits, the building, the castles.
They have it for
and
sale in the
everything.
game stores.
Yeah, that's what I told them. And so taught them that. And it was funny because I haven't played a lot of games with Jesse.
Uh-huh.
And he was sitting, because player orders determined by your score in that game, so it's
Okay.
not always like how you're sitting around. And like I seemed like I was constantly going after him. And he was constantly doing the move that I wanted to do. And, like his first
yeah,
move right
he's
out the
good
gate,
with that.
I saw a refugee for something. I'm like, oh, I'm totally buying that first. That's like a game breaker. It's really good. He goes, I'm gonna take that guy. I'm like, this is not gonna work. I was like, and
No,
yeah,
rules say you can't take
yeah,
that.
you can't keep taking the stuff that
Yeah,
I
you
want.
can't, as your first action, you
Yeah,
can't.
you
take
can't
a
do
refugee.
it. So I taught them about it. They played it. They loved it. I won that one too.
Nice.
And
Bad
then
teacher award.
Had to, bad teacher award. And then he had to take Jesse home, so we ate, took a little break, came back, and we're trying to figure out what to play. Caleb loves Terraforming Mars and never gets a chance to play it.
Uh-huh.
I enjoyed Terraforming Mars, and David's got all the fancy bets for it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
we
you didn't
play
do Ares. You did actual.
actual
Okay.
Terraforming Mars with all like the fancy
Yeah.
bits and whatnot, and like
3D terrain and all
yeah,
that
you know,
stuff.
and they, you know,
Oh,
like I said, it's
cool.
David's game. He's played it. I haven't played with the Colony expansion yet. We played with that. We didn't do Turmoil because nobody has played it yet, and we were
Sure.
like, well, this is going to be, you know, a long game anyway. Let's just, you know, ignore
Right.
that part of it. And you know, and Caleb's a shark, right?
Yeah.
So my 92 to 74 to 75 win felt really good.
Wow.
It did feel really, really good. Like,
So did you lose any games that day?
No, I literally won every game I played.
Man, I should have
yesterday.
went.
You should have gone.
I was busy while he was playing that. I was playing Put Up with Rude People.
Oof.
Oh right.
I was playing Mop
Hate
the
that game.
Floor.
Oh, the worst.
Yeah.
I was
kids.
shopping for appliances because my washer blew up Friday
Oh, I
morning.
should have
Oh,
talked
you
to
were
you. I
shopping for
literally just had
appliances
to go
for
and
12
do that.
hours.
Well,
Yeah, I was there like
then I had football. to
11
watch.
hours, literally. I mean, I left for food, but other than that, yeah, I was.
I
there
was shopping for
all day.
appliances in the morning and then watching football.
Groceries.
Because Purdue played in the middle of the day and then Notre Dame played at night. I mean, that's my whole day.
That's true. Oh, yeah, I forgot they played last night. Should have checked in on that.
Groceries and kids.
Why I hate them.
That's my life.
Yeah.
But
Kids.
and then
But it was
today before doing this, we'll
Yeah.
have a video up for it. But we did all play Road Trippin'. Bob's Kickstarter.
Kickstarter.
Man, that turnaround on that was quick.
So fast.
That's the fastest. I mean, Runes of Zun was amazing. That's the fastest I've
I mean,
ever
it
seen.
has to have been within
months?
2
3
months.
Hey,
months?
go Biko. You're going to have to up your game now. You guys
Yeah.
were the fastest delivery, and now look at these little guys coming out, and we're like,
Yeah.
hey, you backed this? See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Here we go. Successfully funded August 17th, 2021.
That's pretty good.
That's
That's actually pretty
As
close
of filming
to Runes
is
of Zun.
October 31st.
Yeah.
So we're filming on
So
Halloween.
that was a pretty darn good turnaround. Now there's still a thing that it was an add-on that they were trying to do, which is like an After Dark kind of thing, right, with like adult stuff on there. And that didn't make it in the box, but they're gonna make it
sure.
for a. It's gonna come later.
Second wave shipping
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yep.
I'm going to snap right there, wherever it is. We are going to have a playthrough of Road Trippin' where we didn't completely play through the game, but we played
Right.
through a little over half
Little
and
over
gave you
half.
guys a feeling of what the game's like.
Yeah, and that half one with showing the camera and doing everything else that took us 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was learning the game.
That was
Right,
learning.
and playing up
And you
for
can
the
play
camera,
with
showing
us.
him stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything,
so-
write down in the comments.
Yeah,
what
and you
think
can
we're
play with
doing.
us and keep track of your
This is
scores
true.
because you'd beat the team who lost too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonder who that was.
Yeah.
Huh.
They picked the
Interesting.
teams.
So Bob's streak may have continued.
May have continued.
We got to break this streak.
Pick better teammates.
That's it. I'm playing something. I'm playing something with Bob tonight. I don't care if it's chess online.
So I'm going to just forge right ahead into news so we get going.
Go
So
for
speaking of forging, I don't remember if we ever got back around to this, but remember how Keyforge had to reboot?
Oh.
Like
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
relaunch
Oh, yeah.
everything?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, fix the
So
algorithm.
it has come out that it was not a broken algorithm. They were victims of ransomware.
Oh no!
And they opted to not pay the ransom, just crash their whole system and
Yeah.
redevelop
Sorry.
everything
That's
from scratch.
awesome.
Good for them.
Give
What
them
an
props.
awesome story.
Can I give
Yeah.
them money just for doing that?
It,
Yeah,
it
you
made
can't even
me.
go buy their game.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Keyforge?
Yeah.
Actually, I have wanted to buy it, so maybe now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought, well, good for them. Right?
Yeah.
But they'll also probably improve on their backups in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
right.
are groups out there that will help protect you against ransomware, and I think any business that actually has computers involved should do that.
I mean, it was probably an
That is
oversight.
the most psyop story we've ever covered.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, but I thought that was kind of cool and worth
This week in
mentioning.
espionage.
How did we miss that in the news? We got no news.
I'm telling you, man. I did research.
got
I
ears.
don't know where he gets all the industry news. Is the
got-
thing. I
I
don't know
got
where he
ears.
gets it.
I got yours.
Sister.
Coming out. Actually, it might even be out now by the time this comes out. But there's TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtle Power by the OP. So this is a 3 to 6 player Ninja Turtles card game. It uses the 80s cartoon art, which is like hits
Right?
me
Yeah,
right
yeah.
in the feels. And it's like this weird like poker style, like you're bidding with like cards from your hand, and then you're like activating and leveling up different turtles. But if like Spencer and I play the same card, then we don't get to level up our turtle. So you're trying to not pick the same as the other people, and then you're also trying to beat Kang. Like you're going to be the first one to beat Krang, or whatever. So
not Shredder.
Not Shredder.
Nope, Krang.
Expansion.
Who's Shredder?
Ooh.
Another game coming out now. This one won't be out until June of next year.
Then why are you even
June
talking about it?
2022. It's called Creature Feature. That
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
fun. 2 to 6 players, designed by Richard Garfield.
Oh, okay.
And you basically, the players are acting as movie agents for Hollywood monsters. And so we're bidding cards. We're
nice.
using cards, and we're bidding on like different roles for our monsters. So we're like making movies
Main lead.
and trying to cast our monsters.
Nice. I like that.
And so I thought, well, yeah, this doesn't come out for 6 months, but this sounds like a lot of fun.
Sure, I mean that's every Kickstarter we cover, at least.
At least.
Also true. So shipping woes are going to continue because,
Oh, that's not news.
well,
Yeah,
That's old.
so big box stores
I hate
now have started paying a year's worth of shipping space in advance.
Oh, okay.
So
Cheat
because
the
they're
system.
because they're doing that, it's going to then, obviously clog up space for like smaller companies
Sure.
and things like that. It's going to be harder to get stuff over. And on top of that, there was a cargo ship or container ship off of Vancouver Island. Thanks to, I believe it was Reed commented on a thing on the Facebook group that had a link to the article.
Yep.
Like
So
109 things fell off.
Due
of
to
it?
weather, they initially lost 40 containers before, and then later in the day, to make things worse, the ship caught fire.
What?
Right.
And then it had, so
Well, they lost all their fire extinguishers. On the
They
side.
went over the side of the
they're all in that container. But I don't think anybody was harmed. They evacuated a bunch of the crew, like I believe the captain and a few other members stayed on. But there was like hazardous chemicals and materials and stuff. So I mean, just outside of the board game industry being impacted, it's also like there's environmental concerns, and it's just like you have to wonder if these ships weren't stuck, like waiting out, and not with these sort of things even happen. So I mean, logistical issues are just
We need a bigger ocean.
still. Wait a minute.
No.
Yeah, I remember reading that 4 of the containers that fell overboard have hazardous materials in them. So just stay away from them if you find one.
And well, sure. And I think they've located most of them, like between the Coast Guard and
Good.
the Canadian version of that.
I'm
Really
sure
quick.
My game is on there.
Shadowgate publisher.
Yes.
Who is it?
Trick or Treat Studios.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
I read something about them.
Oh, what'd you read about them?
So
They're publishing Shadowgate.
they announced a bunch of stuff that they were looking forward to doing and designers that they've gotten on board with about talking and stuff. And one of the things that I read that did interest me was they are talking to it's the big M name who designed Spectre Ops.
Oh,
Matt
yeah. No, I think I did read about this.
Misucci?
I know you're talking
Yeah.
about.
So they're in talks with him, and they were kind of joking back and forth. It's not like some official thing was signed, but they were joking back and forth that they're both very interested in making a Spectre Ops type game in the Halloween universe where one person is Michael Myers.
Oh yeah.
And they were talking about that, and I just remember reading that and being like,
yeah,
I'd play that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
take all of my dollars.
Right next to Letters from Whitechapel, I got Michael Myers.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Halloween
Did they say
game.
what it would be called, or they just talking about
They
it?
were just talking back and forth about a game in the Spectre Ops design or whatever
Right.
in the Halloween universe where Michael Myers is chasing down the survivors, which honestly is not the way Spectre Ops plays. So that's the thing that interests
Well,
me.
your objective then, instead of going and
Is evil dies tonight? Oh wait.
no, instead of going and
You only said that
deciphering
one
something on
time.
a
Are you
computer,
sure you don't
your
wanna say
objective
it?
is to
Just
get in
put
there
it
and
30
murder
more
somebody.
times.
and
Yeah,
get
so
out.
it's the other way
Yeah,
around. Instead of them
so
trying
that's
to
what you're
find
thinking,
you're trying
though.
to find them.
That's what I'm wondering. So you're wondering if Michael Myers is going to try to be killing objectives and you're trying to chase him down, or is Michael Myers trying to kill the other players?
No, I think maybe you're
'Cause that's what
Doctor.
makes
Maybe you're
sense.
Dr. Loomis, and then Michael Myers is going to kill these like
Oh,
four
maybe.
babies.
Or Dr. Loomis is.
Well, you're Dr. Loomis. You could
Yeah.
be one
Poor
of the
Loomis's
Haddonfield
Road.
Police Department. No, Laurie's going to be one of the ones that they're going to try to kill.
You think so?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You think they're going to make Laurie Strode a
NPC?
objective NPC? Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not.
But anyway, that news excited me, and it excites me that Trick or Treat Games, however you say
Yeah,
it,
Trick or Treat Studios.
has kind of come out of like nowhere.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, they're doing good. They're making money moves.
Listen, John
Awesome.
Carpenter is not shy about letting people use his IP. He
That's
said
gonna happen.
his quote is, "Yeah, people come up and ask me if they can do something with Halloween, and I hold my hand out, and money appears in it."
Nice.
And it's, you know what, dude's put in his work.
Yeah.
You know, like he's earned it.
Yep.
So good for him. But I also appreciate that he's kind of free with the IPs.
Right.
You know,
'cause
and
some
stuff.
people like get so restricted. It's like, man, it's like people enjoy those things so much. It's like, stop being a jerk and let us play in your world.
Yeah. Don't be precious with it. Let
Yeah.
people enjoy it. And
Sure, there's gonna be people that hate it, like Star Wars, like fanboys who like. wanna
oh
ruin Star
no,
Wars.
guess what? I can
Yeah.
still go back and watch the Star Wars movies that I like.
Oh, you can.
The Phantom
It's
Menace.
weird.
No, Tim. Now that the new
I
ones
will
are
stab
out,
you in the
Now
throat.
that the new ones are out, you can't watch the old ones.
Oh, that's right.
That's
Yeah,
true.
they've been
So it's all ruined.
That's what I've always
I can't
said.
tell you how long.
Bring
I
on the
spent
Back
trying
to the
find
Future
non-special
reboot,
edition.
baby.
'Cause it's really weird that, you know, Raiders of the Lost Ark is still a perfect movie.
Right.
Despite any other
What's even
fourth
weirder
one that might
is
have
how
come out.
it's a perfect movie and Last Crusade's a perfect movie, but I like Last Crusade more. How does that
It's
even
got Sean
work?
Connery in it.
Sheen,
it's a big help.
Sheen Conroy.
Sheen Connery.
Sheen Conroy. All right. So that's my news. That's all my news stuff.
Pretty
Pretty good news.
That was
Yeah.
all my news too.
Okay, cool.
That's
Cool.
my
Cool.
news.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. We'll go into Kickstarters.
Yeah. Sure.
Crowdfunding.
I got like-
I got two.
I got
one.
two obvious
I want
ones.
to mention
Yeah,
one
I
because
got
I
this
have been
one.
watching this one for months and months.
We'll
All right,
go
go month
for
and
that
months.
one.
Elder Scrolls
Elder
5
Scrolls
Skyrim,
5
the
Skyrim,
adventure
the
game.
adventure game.
On
That's
GameFound?
mine. Do you guys want me to talk about it?
Yeah, go ahead, Dan. What you got?
Now, Dan,
I
I know
did see
you
that
just
they've
started
made some
watching this
announcements.
5 minutes ago.
So
But
tell
let's-
us what you've learned.
But what have you learned?
Well, it's a game about Skyrim,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Everyone knows
Okay, that sounds
that.
interesting, yeah.
Skyrim is the 5th Elder Scrolls game
Uh-huh.
because there's a V in its
So you're
icon.
guessing that? Yep.
It's a good game, but I only played it for like 2 hours, and I was just like, I don't have time for this.
Okay.
There's too much.
Can we
Quite a
get-
commitment.
Actually, is it too late for them to just do like a Daggerfall one instead of Skyrim? Because Daggerfall was like the second.
Yeah.
second
no,
Elder
it's
Scrolls
not too
game.
late.
No, well, Steamforge Games does their games backwards. Evidently, we're
Yeah,
learning
that's
this
true.
week.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Each one of the games takes place in a different time period in the history of Tamriel.
Yeah.
So Skyrim is at the end.
No, I was
and
just
they
being a
really don't
smartass.
Yeah,
have
I
anything
know
after.
most of the lore too. I'm just joking.
So what? So tell us about the game.
Well, it's by Modifius
Mufasa?
Entertainment.
Okay.
I've never heard of this company. It's a 1-to-4 co-op or solo legacy style
All
game.
co-ops are
this
solo.
all sounds
All
great.
co-ops or solos. You're actually not going to be playing as the Dragonborn. You're going to be playing as a
Game
member of
sucks.
the Blades.
Oh,
Had
okay.
me, then you
okay.
lost me.
The blades are cool.
Yeah, you're going to be playing as one of the last members of the Blades, and apparently you're trying to find out what happened and avenge them or whatnot. There's going to be, every round you have an event that happens. You're going to be exploring the world. You're going to have quests, and you're not just going to have one quest you're doing. Just like in Skyrim, you finish this quest, and here's another one that tacks onto it. It's a chain of quests you got to do. And if you can complete the chain of quests, you get some big bonus. You can level up your character. You can enchant your items. It looks like Skyrim,
a
the
lot
board
of
game.
what
So campaign style.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
yeah, he said legacy, so it
Legacy,
must be some
legacy.
kind of campaign
Yes,
style.
yes. So as you level up, it's going to continue going. And they said there's got tons of different quests that are going to change depending on what choices you make.
Nice.
And I like that. They also said it's going to fulfill in August of 22.
Okay.
So not that.
That's not bad.
that bad.
Especially for a big game like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again on GameFound.
Yeah. And that's
Yes, it's on GameFound. Yeah.
something I want to say about that too. Like, because I got a lot of the same information that Spencer got. If you go to GameFound and you like follow the projects, you'll get email updates every time they put out.
Constantly.
Now,
yeah.
Almost too much.
Almost. But it's cool because then you get to, follow along as they develop new things. And sometimes they ask for opinions and they'll do surveys like, oh, what should we do? Should we do this or
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Like, it's super cool to be
It was really
involved.
cool seeing because that was always kind of an Awaken Realms thing. Was the really asking the community like,
Interactive.
hey, here's
Yeah.
3 different alien
they're
types we're
really
thinking
good at
about
that.
using. Vote on them, right? And
Yeah.
it's nice to see that has made its way kind of into GameFound in general. Right?
Yeah.
now, all the information I'm giving you might change because it drops when this video drops. It's not actually out yet.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have the price point on it.
It does have a price point, but
Okay.
that might change.
Ex-
The price
yeah.
point is, and it's actually affordable, $95 for the base game.
That seems great.
It's not horrible.
Are there miniatures for the heroes?
Yes,
It's
there are
gotta be,
miniatures
right?
for the heroes,
Okay.
6 heroes you can choose between. However, like in Skyrim, there are expansions.
Of course.
Dawn Guard is one of them, and then there's From the Ashes, which I don't think is an expansion to Skyrim, but I'm curious.
Yeah.
And you can get both of those and the base for $160.
Not bad.
For $255, you can get minis upgrades, metal septums, a neoprene mat, and a bunch of. So they have
Keeps jumping.
2 tiers of unlocked stuff. I got the expansions and I got the deluxe.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can unlock more.
So
by
like
getting
deluxe
the
editions of expansions, basically.
But of course, I don't have any of the unlocked stuff. I don't have any of the add-ons because all that stuff hasn't come out yet.
Right.
Right. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's cool.
This seems cool. Skyrim as a board game, if I was doing it, I would do it a lot like that. See, because I was thinking, like, take the bones of the Fallout board game, which I know a lot of people don't love, but the way it does the story elements and stuff with the cards and everything really does work. And the way the exploration really does work. It's just the game overstays its welcome a bit, and it's a little clunky. But take those bones and turn it into a legacy game, and I think that's where Skyrim would go. And it does kind of sound like it. I haven't looked in depth at it because I'm not gonna be able to get it.
I'm on the fence. I mean, I do kind of want it, but at the same time, I have money.
But yeah,
I mean, I
Skyrim.
need money.
everyone will tell you Skyrim's a great game. So
It
it's
is.
cool
Like
to see
This
Hands
will
down
be
Sarah's favorite.
a hot property,
And
right?
if you
This will
don't want to
go
play
out.
Skyrim, go play Elder Scrolls Online.
I always preferred
Which I do.
Morrowind.
I like
myself.
Morrowind a lot.
I played the crap out of Morrowind. So.
Yeah,
But
me
that's
too.
back when I was younger and I had all the free time to play that game, right?
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
I can't tell you how much I love walking around with a little cat person killing people in the Dark Brotherhood. That is so fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you gonna sell me some skooma next?
This one does not deal in skooma.
Oh boy.
have wares if you have coin.
So another Kickstarter that's big that's hitting right now, Resident Evil
Resident
1.
Evil
Speaking of
game.
games that like to go in reverse order.
Let's do 2, then 1, then
0.
next week we'll do Code Veronica.
Yeah.
then let's jump to Biohazard, right?
Yeah.
Then-
Biohazard 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if I'm not going to go in like a ton of details, but
Yeah.
if you're familiar with Resident Evil 2, we even did a review of it, didn't we? Or did we, or like a preview?
we
or
did
no?
something. I think we did a preview.
We did some stuff with Resident Evil 2, and so you can see it. I don't think that there's anything like incredibly inventive with the gameplay.
Yeah. Well, this one's gonna have more puzzle solving, so I'm interested in
Okay,
seeing how that one
so that'll be
plays, because
interesting.
that was
I like puzzle
bigger.
solving.
Bigger in the first Resident Evil. But I mean, is it puzzle solving or is it like, oh, I'm just gonna keep wandering around these rooms until I get
Right.
They get the item you need.
They use the term puzzle solving a lot, and they show what look like key cards or something.
Right.
So I don't know how it's gonna work.
Sure,
But
sure. I mean, it could do a thing where it's like, flip it over. If you have this item, you get this, and if you don't have this item, rah, you get eaten by a zombie.
right.
But anyways, basically, it's about $100 for the Bravo pledge, which is the core box and stretch goals, and then it's a huge jump to $297 for the Alpha pledge, which is all in.
Yeah.
But that gives
and-
you the other game too, though, doesn't it?
No,
No.
Oh.
no, not
that I
Resident
saw.
Evil 2. I thought it did also, and then I looked. And I'm
So
like,
it's just because there's so many freaking miniatures.
but there's
in
a
this game.
ton of extra expansions and like character packs and,
And,
dice.
terrain.
Can you get them
And
as add-ons if
terrain.
you don't want to drop that
Yes.
much?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a problem with this. That we just saw that Lords of Ragnarok is priced at $195, and then you see Resident Evil the board game is priced at $297, and I just think you're getting so much more game out of Lords of Ragnarok, and so I
And
think
that's for
a
everything.
problem.
That's for
pricing.
everything.
$195 for everything.
With that $200 pledge for Lords of rounded
Yeah.
up, right? For I agree. I think
Yeah.
you're getting a lot more. I would say that now, if you're a diehard Resident Evil fan
Sure.
and you want to like, because I will say Resident Evil 2, what we played of it, it feels more like a Resident Evil than a Zombicide.
Right. So,
But
I always say this about Steamforged games. Guys, if you are the most hardcore Resident Evil fan in the world, if you would do anything for a Resident Evil game and everything like this, you will love this game. The thing that Steamforged does, I'm going to look at this camera because I never do. The thing that Steamforged does is their games are much better at taking that theme and making it a game than at making an actual board game.
right.
If people aren't into the Dark Souls universe, they're going to think that board game is boring, grindy crap. Fans of Dark Souls, like hardcore fans of Dark Souls, love that game. They love it.
Because that's the game.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
The board game's a lot like the video game.
they have nailed, from my experiences, the process of taking something and turning it into another medium. Right?
It's so frustrating.
And they
You throw
have
the
nailed
controller.
that. But things don't transfer perfectly. You know, you can see a video game that turns into a movie and it adapts it perfectly,
Right.
and it's bad because that's not how you adapt movies. You know, it turns out, this is going to blow your mind, but you shouldn't just take a book and make it a movie and just make all the exposition people's thoughts. That's a really bad idea. You know? So things don't always work. They have nailed that from video game to board game. They have nailed it.
Yeah, they seem to be the go-to for conversions.
Yeah,
right?
they're very good at getting the licenses and stuff and things.
Yeah.
But you have to be a really hardcore fan. If you're a hardcore fan, I think you'll love it. I think you'll see the flaws as, well, yeah, they have to be there. That's the video game, and that's
Sure.
totally fine.
Sure. And, you know, again, I think you make a good point. I think Lords of Ragnarok, for me, would be a better value. But if somebody rolls in with Resident Evil 1, am I going to go, ooh, let's play this?
Right.
I will-
Especially if they have the all-in,
Absolutely.
all the
Yeah.
I'm just like,
All of them come
oh.
with- are they like painted?
No,
or
not painted, but you do get
sun
like
drop?
3D terrain and stuff like that.
There's
No,
a bunch
nothing
of three. They are just red, and the heroes
red
are
and,
gray.
yeah,
Although
just
I
standard.
kind of want to ask, so who's backing Lord of Ragnarok here?
We'll see.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
Like I
Thought
said,
about
my
it,
brother
we'll see.
said he will, but
Well, then
we'll
I might
see,
have
you know.
to do it.
Well, you could do
Pull
Resident
my
Evil,
arm.
and I'll get
I'm not
Lord
going
of
to force my
Pete,
brother back. It's
With
just
any
that
with any luck, Pete will back Resident Evil. We can play his.
Oh, yeah.
I
you know,
think he
that seems like
definitely
something
will
he'll
because
do.
he has the other one.
Right.
That seems
the,
like it's right up his alley.
the other gigantic one.
Is it? Yeah.
Marvel
Yeah.
Dice
Marvel
Throne.
Dice Throne.
So Marvel Dice Throne has finally announced all the heroes it's coming with and everything. from
Yeah,
what I've
so
seen,
it is Miles Morales, Spider-Man,
Yep.
Scarlet Witch, Thor, Black Widow, Doctor Strange, Loki, Captain Marvel, Black Panther,
And Daniel.
and Daniel. So $84 gets you
Everything
everything.
but
The battle
Daniel.
chest.
It's the battle chest to get you all the
Everything but
characters. And if you don't back it at this, what they will do, I'm assuming, is what they did with Dice Throne, is that they'll release them in 2 packs.
Yep.
So actually, they have them in 3 packs. You can get 2 of them at a time. That's $30, or you can get a pack that has 4 of them, and that's $50.
Sure. So if it's
two-pack.
if
So
it's
it's 2 that are 30, and there's 1 that's the 50.
so if it's something you really, if you like Dice Throne and you like Marvel, go for it. I hate the art on this. I hate their art style.
I don't hate it.
I hate it
I
so
didn't
much.
hate it.
Eh.
I hate it so much. I do not like the art style.
Okay.
I already don't like Dice Throne, so for
Right.
me, this is like, well, I don't give it. You know,
Yeah, that's true too. Is you have a very strong bias going into it, which is totally fine.
I do,
Totally.
and I will say though that for an additional $80 on top of that 84, you get like all the player mats and you get like extra.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So
upgraded.
even someone who
Neoprene
does
mat.
look
Yeah.
forward to playing Dice Throne eventually, I think it's my kind of game. And this, I mean, I want to play Doctor Strange so bad. I think this seems cool. There is no way this little dice game is worth $160. What? Anyway,
because
that's
they
my-
can.
It's
Yeah.
also compatible with every other Dice Throne thing that's come out.
Right.
Sure. But I don't release the sequel to Halloween and say, well, it's compatible with the other Halloween, so this time it's $80. Well, I won't go see it because I don't
Marvel. They
care.
Yeah.
gotta pay Disney a bunch of
But
money.
the OG,
Sure, I get
the OG Dice Throne. I mean, it was all priced similarly.
Sure. I don't own it.
Right.
I think it's overpriced.
Right. No, it's fine. The components are all really nice. I didn't
Yeah.
mind. I didn't mind that artwork style because it looks like it's the same art style. I
Yeah.
did not mind that for their fantasy.
Yeah, with
characters.
fantasy, yeah.
Right.
I don't-
love the look
don't
of the
like the
cowboy.
Marvel-
I
look.
just don't like the way it looks with the Marvel characters.
okay.
And I know, like, I'm a comic book nerd, and I will gripe about like art on.
In
Anything?
my day, the superheroes had different types of tights on.
We shouldn't talk about the superheroes of your day.
Oh.
Grandpa.
It might be a little problematic.
right.
But this is an IP that everybody on both sides, right, Dice Throne and Marvel, that everybody has been really excited for.
Yeah, my sister backed it within like 2 minutes of it dropping.
Sure.
That's crazy.
Sure, I am not a fan of Dice Throne. I should be.
I wasn't blown away by it.
I was going to I actually looked at the Marvel one because it's like, well, maybe this is what I
it's
need.
Marvel, yeah.
This is what I need because I love Marvel stuff. I mean, I love comic book stuff, Marvel, DC, whatever. But the art style, I'm having a real hard time. Like,
Sure, okay.
you know,
I don't mind it at all. I mean, especially, you compare it to the ridiculous art style of like Marvel United and all these other Marvel games that are coming out. None of them look anything like each other. They're clearly just like throwing
Yeah.
hooks in every direction
Sure.
possible and seeing what lands. you know?
I will say this is a little like meta
Mhm.
right here, right? If you look specifically at the characters that they're using,
Mhm.
these are characters that are going to be moving. They're going to be moving forward with in like the
movies.
next wave of movies, which is why you don't have a
Yeah.
Captain America and an
No
Iron Man.
I'm like, really?
Yeah.
If it was Iron Man, I might consider backing it.
Spoilers.
But
Watch Endgame.
Or just read that their contracts are over.
Yeah.
So I think that has something to do with it, but I mean, that leaves for some pretty solid expansion stuff, to come out too, right? Like,
There is
like where
no
you're-
way they're not doing Iron Man eventually. You
or,
know,
or
like,
Guardians
so-
of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
That's dude. X-Men could be a thing eventually.
It will
too.
be.
I
and-
mean, yeah.
They're adding that in every Marvel game right now.
Yeah.
So
Well, one thing I liked about it is every character gets their own little tray that's made specifically
Right.
for that character because they don't all have the same little fiddly bits.
right, it's like
Right.
it's like
That's
each
pretty
character
nice.
has a game tray organizer.
Yeah, it looked
basically.
like game trays, but I
Yeah,
don't
no,
think
they
it is.
they all have their own
Yeah.
custom dice, right?
And you can get a
it's-
little Mjolnir.
So I'm sure it's not quite the place for this conversation, but why is Marvel so much cooler than DC?
DC takes itself too seriously.
Does it though?
Yes. Watch the movies. DC tries to be nitty gritty in all of its movies,
Yeah.
and Marvel's like, no,
We're
he's
having fun.
purple. We're gonna
Going
keep
for
him
a
purple.
ride.
I mean, I think Marvel is more fun and the movies are better and everything, but
Yeah.
I actually do prefer DC.
Yeah, well, this is coming from somebody who's like, I've really never read, I don't think, a single comic book.
Right,
I've seen
sure.
mostly just movies and shows and whatnot. And I do enjoy some Batman, right?
Oh, I love
Flash
Batman.
is cool and
Batman's
whatnot.
great.
But, like, I don't know.
That's the-
I enjoy the Marvel, like, slew of
No, it
characters.
is funny
I like
though
both.
that
I
it's
like
like
both.
the 99% of DC, and then all 100% of Marvel, and then the 1% of DC towers over
There-
everything.
there you
It is
go.
kind of
That-
funny.
that sounds about
It's
right,
basically
yeah.
like the Justice League, Marvel, everything else.
DC.
Like that's
Yeah.
basically
Well, Doom
what
Patrol has
it's
been
like.
entertaining.
Doom Patrol's good.
DC's finally figuring out how to embrace their wacky characters and
Meanwhile-
getting away from the Christopher Nolan aesthetic, which was that everything has to like actually be possible.
Sure.
Which
I
is
actually
fine,
enjoyed
works
that.
really
That was
well,
good,
works
yeah.
really well for what it is, but you cannot then shoehorn superheroes into
Right.
that template,
Well,
right?
there's a reason they didn't have Robin in that.
No.
But anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
So those were the big Kickstarters I was going
yeah.
to talk about. So you guys got other crowdfunding
Nope,
before we
was,
move
that
on?
was it.
Resident Evil.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's
I
fine.
think those are all the ones.
Let's
that was all the ones.
bust right into our topic. So we're coming into the holiday season now.
Holiday season.
We got Thanksgiving coming up in a few
We
weeks, and we'll
probably
have.
should have done a Thanksgiving episode.
We gotta leave it for that.
We're not even done with. We haven't even pulled the Halloween decorations.
I know.
Thanksgiving
out.
episode. Is there a basting turkey
So-
kind of
Yes.
game?
So Spencer had a suggestion I thought was pretty good, where we talk about like travel-friendly games. So I've got a few criteria for this
Yes.
for my own, and you
I was
guys.
going to say, great, there goes my list.
No, I
Criteria.
definitely. Well, these are personal lists. I
Standards into
definitely
my
had
list.
two things that I was like, boom.
So
Okay.
travel-friendly is
Sure.
one. Does not take up a lot of space, like
Yes.
table
Not a
space,
big-
right?
Table
or,
space.
or even the box. I don't want to be
That's
carrying
the
a
other
So
one.
right,
huge number of boxes around.
right.
Those are
And
honestly my two big
you
ones.
could play in a hotel room or like a hotel lobby, or maybe
okay.
even at a restaurant table.
I didn't even.
I
get
think
that.
that-
I was
I
thinking in a
think-
car.
I think that those
Yeah, you
two
can do that too.
categories of small box size, so easy to transport,
Correct.
and small table space. Those
Small
are the two
footprint.
things. Yeah, small footprint, and those two things I think go into you can play in a hotel room. And
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
Because
So-
I've stayed in a hotel room and taken games, and
Yep.
it's like, okay, you've
I've
got like
got-
this much space
Yeah.
on a desk,
I've
like
got
so you
one
can't lay out a
more
whole bunch of stuff.
criterion.
A criterion?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am
Okay.
Criterion.
Can I see your movie collection?
I don't want to have a bunch of little tiny pieces that I can lose.
Oh, sure, that's fair.
Cards is fine.
I didn't
but
think about that.
tokens I can very easily lose, and I do it all the time, especially with kids. When you're traveling, you're destined to be losing stuff, and you
Sure.
can't just go back and look because
Not Dan's
that
problem.
hotel is 30 states away.
Right.
So that's the other one I had.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. So, I mean, who wants to go first? What are?
I'll name a certain thing really quick. So games that have like thick tiles that you play with, those small games like that, super great games. A lot of people would say, I can't remember the name of the game right now.
Carcassonne?
No, the where
the
you're the
footprint.
bugs.
Oh, Hive.
A lot of people say Hive is an amazing travel game. I can see that, but
Sure.
my pick for the same kind of thing is, first of all, Hanabi in general.
Yeah.
I like the game. I can understand if you don't, but Hanabi also has an amazing tile version where you're building them up with the tiles instead, and I think that is a fantastic travel game. It is
Conclusio.
It is tiny.
You're
So
talking about
Conclusio's a
Hanabi.
good one.
Yep, Conclusio,
Yeah,
good
that's a
point.
really
I
good
should
one.
talk about them together. Conclusio is also on my list.
Yeah.
Conclusio, fantastic deduction card game. Of course, I will always have that little deck of cards on me is basically all it is. But games where you just have a small tile footprint, I think, are fantastic games.
Sure.
They're small. They're very hard to lose because those are thick tiles.
Yeah,
They're like twice as big as a dominoes, and you're playing with them. But yes, anyway, that's the first thing that I'll mention is Hanabi Tile Edition, Hive, games like that are fantastic games. So Hive is an abstract strategy game, and Hanabi is and Conclusio, we can put them together, are deduction games. Hanabi is cooperative,
Yes.
and Conclusio is competitive. Both, I think, are great. Bob obviously likes Conclusio more.
Yeah. Well, I guess when I think travel games too, though, it's like, can you play that? And you can't really play Hive in a car. There's no way to put
I would
that.
never play any game in a car.
It'd
I
be
kinda
hard.
wanna know
That
what-
would never go into my.
I want to know what you have
Yeah.
for car games.
Okay.
I Spy.
I mean, spot it.
Just one.
Sure.
It's a good game to play in a
suppose,
car, right? Because you can hold the thing, you show it up, okay, and that's it, right? It's done. We just played it. You can play it without the board. Road tripping, something simple like
Sure.
that.
Except for the driver.
Well, you get out and you write on the actual license plate.
Yeah, well,
is the
because we
thing.
used to play that while we were driving in cars.
Right.
And now we're just writing our own license plates, right? Something like Quicks, right? Like the deluxe edition has this little bottom of the box. You roll the dice in the box. Everybody has their own little card and their marker. They write their things down. You pass the box to the next person. They roll their dice, and you can play that while you're cruising on an airplane, in a car.
Sure.
I mean, there's a bunch of games out there that are designed. There's like travel edition, and they've got
Yeah.
like
Right.
places the little pieces like fit in so they don't go around. Or
Right,
they're
or they're
magnetic.
magnetic.
That's what I was
things
trying to
like
think.
that.
What was that game that we played not that long ago that had the magnetic bits? And Dan was like, that's magnetic? It
Oh,
doesn't move
yeah.
around? Oh my
It was that
gosh.
football
Yeah.
one, wasn't it?
It was the football
football
game.
game.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it was.
That's
that could have
awesome.
been kind of cool. Yeah.
That could work.
First and down.
First and down.
First and down.
It's not first and goal.
First and goal.
I say
Well,
first
first
and down
goal.
didn't sound like a
It's
football
something.
term, but maybe, I guess. I don't know. That's
These guys.
so good for listening to the voice.
Who's on
I was
first?
just saying what he said.
Yeah, no, that's a really fun. That's a really fun one.
He's just saying words now.
But I think that I guess I felt like just in a car was too limiting,
Yeah.
and because it's most of the time I'm
Driving.
I'm driving, so I don't
Multitask.
get to play as much,
Multitask. What's the word again?
You got to get the auto drive.
and not with my wife sitting in the passenger seat.
Stop looking.
yeah.
Stop looking.
Exactly.
I hate car rides, so the game I play in car rides is so
Trying to have a panic attack.
It's not, stop looking. It's. You're like, why are you tensing?
But anyway, so yeah, I went with smaller footprint. Like Spencer said, not a lot of like boxes, right?
Yeah, not a bunch of
Easy to transport.
Yep.
Like all these things kind of like feed
no
into each
Cthulhu
other.
Wars in the car.
Cthulhu Wars Duel, not in
No,
the car,
actually,
but you can
yeah.
play in a hotel
Yeah,
room.
that's
That's a
actually a
good
really
one.
good one if you want
Yeah.
a deeper game. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or the WrestleNomicon, that was a fun one.
right,
Small footprint,
right,
quick and easy.
right. But I I took Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective with me. Right,
That's a great one if you're on a trip by yourself.
because
I've
you're just in
actually
a
While you're just driving.
No.
And
I was at a restaurant
unfold
once.
the map.
Yeah, I was at a restaurant once, and I looked over the table next to us, and they were playing that.
Yeah,
The best thing about playing Sherlock Consulting Detective in your car is a lot of times while you're playing that, you'll have other cops behind you as backup.
Oh, yeah, in case you find the
Following
murderer.
you.
Scotland Yard is here.
And you're like, keep on my tail, boys.
We'll catch them.
We're almost there.
Yeah, we got to run away. I think he's playing Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective again.
not again.
Real
one.
Moriarty. But that's a great game to if you're stuck in a hotel room, you know, like you could.
I know
Jump into.
I'm beating a dead horse here. I tend to like a game and talk about it a lot, but when I think about small box, tiny footprint, and the amount of game you get out of it, no, Whitehall Mystery I think is a fantastic travel game.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think that
Not bad.
I mean when I was
Small
playing
board.
again when I was playing with my brother the other day, the amount of table space we took up with just one-on-one again on opposite sides of the table. I had my shield, there was the board, he had his people tokens. I was like, this game is tiny, man.
Just a little booth in a restaurant.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you could easily play that in a restaurant without. I would bet people would walk by without even noticing it's such a small footprint compared to other things. Like, I guess the shield standing up would catch an eye, but like
Right.
it has such a small footprint. And again, if I want a slightly heavier game, but still that tiny footprint and everything, that's a go-to for me for sure. I think that's I'm going to bring that on a lot of trips.
Not gonna give you a hard time about that one because I actually thought about that one too. I was like, I bet that would be pretty good.
One that I thought would be good.
Terrible
Now
choice.
it takes a little bit more room, but not too much. The Bears and Bees.
Yep, that's another one.
So
Yeah.
as a blanket, I was like any Grandpa Beck's game.
Sure,
Yeah,
I could
that's a
see
good
that
one.
100%.
Because Bears and Bees is a Grandpa
I've only
Beck's
played like
game.
3 of them at this point, but easily all 3 would be on the list.
But yeah, I mean they all come in relatively small boxes.
It's easy to keep all the components in there.
Yeah, there's not a ton of bits to them. Yeah, they all.
Yeah.
They play
and,
quick.
and as you're playing it, people are going to walk by and go, "Oh, what's that?"
Right, right. Yeah, I mean the art's really good. They're all very colorful and nice to look at. Yeah.
Do you guys have any more solo games for people out there? Because I don't play solo games.
I
I couldn't really think of that. Do you have
you could do
anything?
a ton of solo games, right? But
Anything that's co-op, soloable.
no, not really solo games.
Okay, just wondering.
Yeah.
But I guess moving on past that question, then I put both Deckscape and Deckdetective
That's
games.
I was going to mention those.
Oh, that could have
Just
been
technically a
news. Another
solo.
Deckscape was just announced. I think.
Oh, was it?
I think so.
Ooh, I'll have to
Next
reach out
week.
to Bryce about trying to get one of those.
I remember seeing something about that. I should have mentioned that in the news, but I totally forgot because I forgot to write it down.
Okay, let's talk about now.
We'll talk
that
about it
Jeff
next
can
week.
Edit it back in, the
Right.
beginning.
Right, but those games, right? Tiny box, tiny footprint, really. You know, and if you're traveling with your family or a couple of friends, it's a nice thing you could do to kill some time in a hotel room or whatever,
Those are great games.
or while you're waiting for your food.
What about Forbidden Island and those kinds of games? There aren't too many. It takes a little.
I've
more
only
space.
played
No, I mean-
Forbidden Sky, and
haven't played
that
that one
takes
yet.
up a lot
That takes
of
the
table.
most up, though.
Oh,
You haven't played
that
Forbidden
one yet.
Desert?
Uh-uh.
Oh, it's a fantastic game. We got to play it at some point.
So I think
it's
my
the best of the trilogy.
I
for
think
sure.
my problem is those are like evergreen, sort of like cornerstone games. And when I got into the hobby, everybody had already moved past
Right.
those.
Oh yeah.
And so, you're not as likely to get introduced to them. It's like why it took so long to play Dixit,
right.
because other games sort
Came
of
out
like that.
Yeah, somewhat
And it's like,
Yeah.
well, nobody's playing Dixit anymore, so it never kind of came around to me.
I think the reason I like Forbidden Desert so much is because it's the perfect blend of extremely simple game. I mean, we're talking about pandemic style action system and stuff, but Forbidden Desert will kick your butt.
Yeah,
You will.
I like
as
a
long
hard
as you're not
co-op.
playing on the easiest difficulty, you will lose more games than you win in Forbidden
Sure.
Desert. And it's the perfect mixture of that, I think. But anyway, yeah, Forbidden Desert has a perfect table space. You're totally right. I didn't think of it. It comes in a metal tin, so that's great for traveling. Of course, I mean, you're not going to damage anything. You're not going to lose anything. You could just throw it in your car and you'll be
It
fine.
seals
'cause it's
up
metal.
tight, right?
Yeah.
Oink.
So yeah, that's a great one. Good point.
I put both Bang the Dice game.
I just thought of Bang the Dice game
Yeah, that could
literally
do it.
30 seconds ago. I was like, that would obviously you'd be sitting closer
Right.
than normal if you're going for a small table space and stuff. But yeah, if you want a social deduction game, Bang might be the smallest you can get, huh? If you're not going with like
Werewolf.
don't go there or whatever. I guess you're right. Werewolf has no table
Well,
space.
yeah, werewolf.
Sure. But I mean, I was just thinking of like games that are actually like on the table
Yeah,
and you're doing
fun.
stuff with.
I'm just kidding.
What? Bob doesn't like werewolf.
I don't either. What are you talking about? Agree?
But small table space, easy to get a hold of, fun to play. One of my go-tos is For Sale. I love
sure.
For Sale. It's 2 decks of cards and some coins.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the games I took on my last trip. Here's a good one. Again, taking a bigger game, kind of like Whitehall Mystery, taking a bigger game and literally almost having a travel size that plays faster and everything. I think Sonar is a fantastic game to
Oh,
take.
I
yeah.
haven't tried that yet.
Yeah,
I wanna
so
play Sonar.
so everyone loves Captain Sonar that's played it. Sonar is just a smaller version that is for up to 4 players instead of up to 8. You can do 1v1. That's what I did. And the only main difference, while everything is streamlined to make it smaller, the only main difference is it's not real time. I take my turn, then you take your turn, then I take my turn, and we're hunting each other down like that. I guess you could probably play real time, but with just the 1v1, I think it would just be so hectic. That's why they
Yeah.
don't do it.
Technically, the 8-person version does have a turn.
Yes. So it's like the teaching version. So you take that version and that's the game. But I took it on my last trip and we played Sonar and we had a fantastic time playing it. It's tiny footprint, so basically an 8.5 by 11 with a shield in between you guys, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we're going to open up to some little bit of a table presence, pretty much any roll and write, like
Yeah.
Welcome to could work. The roar and write, the dinosaur roar and write that we played.
Yeah. I was trying to only name games that I would recommend. But
he had fun. Don't let him lie.
Cartographers, right?
Cartographers.
That's
sure.
one I really like.
There are
Seven
some.
Bridges.
Seven Bridges is
good
definitely
one.
a good one.
Oh yeah.
Roll for the
Oh, yeah.
ages.
Yeah, I liked that roll
That
for
was a
the
good
ages.
one. Yeah, and then it's got plus your board is like a pegboard, right? So it
Yeah.
holds all the little pegs in there.
have
so-
I ever won a roll and write?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
why,
know.
no, that's why they're so good.
Oh, I was gonna say because that'd be my favorite one.
I have one.
Whichever one that
so
one.
none of them.
I told you.
Yeah,
I'm a
checks
man
out.
of my word.
Yeah, there's some of them they have little tins. They're like made specifically to be small. The one I can think
the
of right now, I
mint
have.
games.
Yeah, but some of those though, like the tiny towns, that just still have quite a bit of presence.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
they
tiny
do.
And the
Western
small
one,
pieces thing.
Like,
Like
yeah,
for
small
you.
pieces, and you open up, there's like, oh, I have 5 things I got to put around. here.
Yeah,
That-
Tiny
that's
Epic
There's one I have
Galaxies.
called Microbrewery.
Oh.
Okay.
And you've got the little pieces all over, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, yes,
Well,
and
there are
no at the
those.
same
There,
time.
there are those like
small bits.
there's postcard games, right, where it's like you just use some pennies and
Oh, yeah.
like
No, that
bits
could
that
work,
you
yeah.
like just detritus that you find around, and you use that to make your to do the thing. I haven't played a ton of them, but they exist.
The
But
one
they
that,
exist.
the one that almost always comes with me because my kids love it is San Juan. Even though
Yeah.
it's not new, but it's a solid game.
What's the
Yeah.
game that replaced San Juan for me?
Puerto
Race of
Rico?
Galaxy?
No, I talked about it recently and I can't remember what it is. Oh well. Because that one, I would take.
I
that
would
one.
not take Race of the Galaxy because it has so many little tokens.
Yeah.
And those things get lost.
Sure.
They get lost on a normal table.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
But I mean,
There's a lot of little games out there to check out.
so what are some of the games? I know Dan's looking for something. So
I just want to see what we have here while you guys are talking.
Happy little
But,
dinosaurs.
yeah, let us know what are some of your go-to. Like I'm going on a
Travel-
vacation.
Travel games.
Travel games. I mean, just one, 10,
Yeah.
Llama.
We mentioned just one already, right?
We
At the
never
very
did.
that was,
beginning.
that was one of the
Just
first
one
ones
is number one for sure. Oh, because you said in a car.
Yeah.
But any games like that are really easy. Llama or 10 might get a little. Well, if you're playing in a car, it might be tough because you've got some tokens.
Yeah,
You're
sure. 10
managing.
can't play in a car really.
But-
Any game with splaying. You can't
Yeah,
really
it makes
play
it
in a
tricky.
car.
but or like Splendor, you could play. Splendor doesn't take
Oh,
up
yeah,
that
that's
much
not
room.
that much
You could
room.
play
Yeah.
that. Dice Miner, you could play it.
Oh,
like-
Dice Miner's a great one. That's a newer game that we covered recently, and
Take
yeah,
up
that's
a
a
little bit of
great
space.
travel
Yeah,
game.
dice are a little harder to lose than like little tokens.
Yeah, yeah.
Also,
and,
just stop losing things, Spencer.
Right.
I've talked to you about this.
right. But so, what are some of your guys' favorite games? Your go-to games for traveling when you're
Yeah,
out?
this is a very open discussion. There's
Yeah.
millions of games we could
Yeah.
mention here, and I just wanted to
Sure.
mention the ones that I would immediately grab.
Sure.
Right.
I'm sure like you guys probably have like your favorite game that you've managed to figure out a way to transport it. Like, like when I
A
played
lo-
Magic a lot, we figured out how to play it, on a
There's
bus.
a lot of people
you
who
know?
take-
Magic's actually a good one.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of people who take these big
Can be.
games and put them in tackle boxes
Yeah.
to travel with them
Condense
and
down,
label them and
right.
stuff. And yeah, that's a genius way of doing it. That's too much work for me.
There-
That's a
Sounds like a
genius
lot.
way.
There was a group before Cthulhu Wars Duel came out. There was a
hate where this
forum
story's going.
thread where they have miniaturized Cthulhu Wars stuff
That's
and little like
That'd be
meeples
cute.
and
Like,
bits.
pre-print your own like.
And you-
mini-
I
oh,
want
just
Cute Cthulhu, not Cthulhu, yeah.
Right,
eat your soul. I'm gonna eat your heart.
but yeah, I mean those. There's a ton of good ones,
Yeah.
and I think that like
Looking back there.
I think that it's awesome that there's so many games out
Oh,
that you could go and
Fantasy Realms.
Fantasy Realms. is a
Man,
really
just
good one.
played that for the first time at the JuliaCon thing. Great game. That little 7-hand card game. You played
Oh.
it too, right?
No.
Oh, you
Oh,
didn't, play Fantasy
Realms?
So it's like a game where you start with 7 cards, and on your turn you can discard a card and pick up
It's
one.
kind
yeah,
of
you're
like
talking
Red
about that.
Rising.
You know,
Yeah.
the one with the butterfly.
Yeah, it's like
the
Red
butterfly.
Rising,
Not
but just
the
the
butterfly.
card thing.
That's a different one.
Oh.
No, yeah, different one.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah, it's literally just you're trying to build the best possible engine in your hand out of the 7 cards that you'll have at the
Okay.
end of the game. So this card procs points with this card, and this proc gives
yeah,
points
yeah,
for
yeah.
this.
Red Rising.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic little deck of cards.
yeah,
Man.
it's really good.
Bloody
And
in.
Yes.
I mean, it's
Yes.
small
It
footprint.
has small footprint. I would take Bloody in if I owned it for sure.
yeah,
That's a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
one. We did that on a board game roulette.
We did.
hey.
Check that out.
I also say Usual
That's gonna be something
Suspects is, or Unusual Suspects is a good party one to take. Surprisingly, a CMON game.
Right.
That's,
I didn't realize
I
that.
did not realize that either.
Yeah, they should have made a miniature bust for every single person. in the game,
Right.
That's the
Clearly.
deluxe edition.
And then
Yeah.
charge an extra $100.
Yeah. You can get Unusual Suspects for anywhere from $15 to $1,000.
Then it would actually be a CMON game. But yeah, guys, let us know some of your favorites. And also, while you're poking around on the interwebs, check out our friends at the Board Game Mechanics. Jason and Katie over there have a once-a-week podcast. Drops Thursday night, Friday. I always listen to it on Friday, so I say Friday, but I think it actually comes out on Thursday nights.
It does too.
And then Jason has videos coming out all week, just different reviews and stuff that they do.
Yeah, we get it, Jason. You have more time than us. Jeez, calm down.
Oh boy, they're currently doing their top 100 games right now.
Nice. That's
And-
a classic end of the year thing to do.
And I'm like, oh no, they're going through all the games I like now, so they're gonna get to they're gonna get their top 10. I'll be like, womp womp.
Yeah.
But no, it's good to check them out. They've got different tastes in games than us. They cover different things than we do. But they're really good people, fun people, and a really good community over there. Also, check out our sister channel, the Miniatures Rundown, and then the Pokemon Rundown is happening.
Yep.
That's a thing.
They are all. If you go to our main YouTube channel, there's a section called Channels, and all 3 of our sister channels are listed in there. Direct links to them.
Also, something I've been thinking about, if you guys don't do like Facebook or don't love Facebook and want to interact with us on Facebook, because we are on Facebook at the Board Game Rundown. Ask to join the group. We'll let you in.
Yep.
But I was thinking about maybe just doing like a Discord channel where we're all just on a Discord server and want to chat and
pitch ideas for
pitch
topics
ideas and just talk about stuff. So if Discord is something that you think you might like to do, drop us a message, comment, let us know.
Name down there so we can.
Yeah, I'm a hardcore Discord fan.
Yep.
So
me too.
if that's what you guys would prefer over a Facebook or even a YouTube comment section stuff, let us know because we can definitely get that up and running.
Yeah.
We
And
do live playthroughs.
also,
That's true.
all of our weekly shows are available in podcast form, usually 2 or 3 days after the episode drops.
Yep, that's always a link in the description. If you prefer audio versions or if you tend to listen during work hours, audio versions are way better for your bandwidth and everything than a YouTube video. So check out the audio version. Now you'll be seeing it 2 or 3 days after the video, but that's fine.
Oh no, spoilers.
I know, right?
It's all right. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got today.
Yeah.
That's all you ever have.
It's good.
All I ever have. So for the Board Game Rundown, I've been Tim.
I've been Bob.
I've been
When
Spencer.
was the last time you made someone smile?
Years.
That was
Thanks
good.
for watching. We'll see you next time.
Well, you guys forgot the best travel game. Twilight Imperium.
I thought you were saying Candyland.
I knew he wasn't.
Too obvious.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.